evening and welcome to Of Dice and Them. We are a TTRPG actual play podcast, and tonight we are playing Blades in the Dark. My name is Tove, I'm your games master, and this evening I am joined by 3 other members of cast. We have Ralph.
Hello.
We have Lou.
Hello.
And, drumroll, we have Bambi.
Hello.
Oh, nice jeopardy there to see who we'd abandoned this evening.
Which particular bit of chaff we've...
So, Jack, if you're listening to this, which I assume you are, hi! We are going straight to downtime this session. We are going to be beginning with our entanglements roll.
Oh, bloody hell.
Now, entanglements are when shit happens to you based on your wanted and heat levels. Now, you have a wanted level of 1 and a heat level of 4, which means I will be rolling 1 dice and using the middle table.
Thank God we don't roll, because I got a 1, 1 and a 2. I didn't know the dice had those sides.
Oh, let's find out how much I would have failed by. I got a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Oh, Ralph, you might as well roll as well.
Yeah, what, are we just rolling 3 dice for...
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
that's
okay.
not a number relevant to what I'll be rolling, but go ahead.
Just to see what we would have rolled if we were allowed to roll dice.
1, 3, 4.
Okay, now we're going to roll the actually important dice.
Oh, okay.
Which is my one. Oh, it's a 2. We are on gang trouble or questioning. Now, this is the exciting part of the podcast where I read the relevant section of the rulebook.
Everyone loves relevant section of the rulebook, chat.
I think one of these is slightly more relevant given that the fact we're only missing one person. Given that we don't have Tay for today's episode, questioning is that the Blue Cloaks grab... the book says NPC, member of your crew, but we could say it's Tay, and question them about your crimes.
He loves being questioned.
Well, we make a fortune roll to see how much they talk.
She better fucking not talk. Also, you weren't there, but the other day, she was questioned by the authorities, so she is having a rotten run of luck.
Oh yeah, you're right. We literally opened last episode with her being questioned by authorities.
A lot of contact with the authorities. That makes me think that maybe she's an informant, but surely we're not important enough for that.
Seems unlikely, given our track record.
Probably not.
No.
It's very...
I mean, we have been in, I think, probably some quite infamous heists at this point. You know, we've punched well above our weight, but no, wouldn't worry about it.
So we would roll 2 dice for a normal person to see how well they keep quiet. If they're an experienced underworld type or some kind of tough, give them 3 dice or 4 instead. If they're soft or if they have some loyalty to the law, give them 1 or 0 dice. I think Tay's fairly tough. I don't think she'd crack easily.
Does like talking though.
I mean, is it possible that we leave this role for
Jack when he's
how
next
Jack
here?
role plays this situation?
No, I think Jack would want you to roll for him, Ralph.
You're right. Jack
you're right.
loves to make you roll dice.
Yeah, what should I roll?
It depends how tough we're saying Tay would be under questioning. I think it's 3 or 4.
I don't think she's quite... She's not like a super solid, you can't crack me underworld. I think she's probably a 3.
Yeah, you're right, Lou. We should argue for fewer dice.
She's literally your hard ass. She's your cutter.
Yeah, I know,
she's the
but,
toughest of us.
We're also relatively low level. She's not like an epic crime boss.
That sounded like 4 dice.
It was 3, but I only needed 1.
What did we get?
6.
Oh. She says nothing.
Ooh. Go Jack in absentia.
Well, I think that she says nothing of value to the blue coats.
Yeah,
I think
actually, yeah, she talks for 4 solid hours at them about absolutely nothing. And in the end, they send her out on the street just to get rid of her.
Why, I don't know why you would take a simple country lady like myself.
Now,
That
if
is
you'll
definitely what
excuse me, gentlemen, all this talking has left me a little hoarse.
Tay's famous for her horse puns. She loves it, just cracking them out.
She's champing at the bit to do a horse pun.
That brings us neatly on to downtime activities. Gecko, last we saw...
Oh, why would you go with me first?
Because she had the biggest cliffhanger from narratively, chronologically, when last we saw
I've got
her.
the best character. I'm just not very organised.
She was last seen running, crying from the racetrack where she had been pushed to the very brink of her ability to keep it together.
That's because she had to impersonate somebody that knew what they were doing. And this did not sit well.
And she is now 1 point of stress away from trauma.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
First time.
yeah.
Where do we think she went to from the track?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is. You're right. There is definitely streaming and crying. I think she's gonna walk. She's gonna have a little dash down a bit of a well-to-do street. Are there any houses that don't have lights on?
I would say all of them are looking pretty dim. I think the race meet is a pretty big social event for the people of this area of the city.
Of course. Okay.
Sorry, that gives you nothing, but
Yeah.
gives you...
No, that's right. It gives me nothing, but it also gives me something. Right. So I think she's probably gonna shimmy up a wall, and I think she's looking for a pool.
I think if there was going to be a pool in the Undercity, this would be the district in which there is a pool. So I think you probably do find one with murky black water, but a pool nonetheless.
I think she probably just feels dirty, and like she's wearing clothes that aren't hers and things like that. And she just sort of so I think she's just gonna probably kind of jump.
Give me that stress reduction roll. Or indulge vice roll, whatever we call it nowadays.
And if this goes well, she's just gonna kind of float. There's so many scenes in movies where people break into someone's back garden and jump into their pool in all of their clothes. This is exactly what Gecko is doing.
So you're rolling dice equal to your lowest attribute rating.
So I'm never going to be able to reduce any stress in this game. Right, come on. Oh, a 5 and a 4. 4.
4, reduce by 4.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
That means I've got literally half the stress I had.
I think your little float in the pool goes reasonably well. There was one point where you had to dive under the water as a servant walked past, but once they departed, you were back to floating happily.
I think she's just kind of like lying back with kind of splayed arms and legs, like just like trying to calm down.
But now we are in territory of deciding whether or not to do it again.
Yeah,
we
we
have another
are.
downtime activity to fill, but only 4 stress left to clear.
Yeah, only 4 stress left of her, and I have also got an injury, which I could try and clear.
Meg Leekfield.
Oh no!
Fan favourite
I mean,
Meg Leekfield.
obviously, it's not appropriate or feasible for me to go to Meg Leekfield. We're not in the right part of town. Like that's just a laughable kind of idea.
Yeah. Don't worry, she's technically not an asset anymore. She was just the one score. But then Pakistan had her hanging around dishing out soup, so you could find her.
Pakistan is a opportunistic person. She'll take what she can get. The house that Gecko is in I think she's gonna. Are we in? I think she's gonna have a look and see if she can get in. See if any of the back windows are open, and if they are, she's gonna see if any of them open into a bathroom, and see if they've got a medicine cabinet. See if there's any, ointments or something that she can put onto her cut face. Especially now she's just irritated it with chlorine.
Assorted tubes of goop to slather on your open wounds. And
Unguents.
Some sort of unction.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would definitely say you could get into this house, and I would be surprised if it had no first aid equipment. Of course, you do add 1 stress if you're healing yourself rather than using a doctor.
I mean, she spends her life just on the edge of trauma. I mean, why stop
And it would be
now?
a shame if we ended this series without anyone falling into trauma, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah, alright. I'll take it.
Okay, so you may choose to simply tough it out and attempt to heal without any treatment. In this case, take 1 stress and roll 0d.
But I've made it a concerted effort. I haven't just left it to go by itself. I've put unction on its Tove.
You're doing it yourself. You haven't got a doctor telling you which unctions are.
Do you go to a doctor if you cut your face?
Well, this is like a special cut, right? This is from a crew of hardened assassin nuns. It's probably poisoned or something.
Well, sorry. I would have poisoned face on my character sheet if I had a poisoned. I just feel like
I'm looking forward to the description of my special rope burn.
You joke, but I've got a special answer for why your hand's still burned after like a month.
Well, I think I know why my hand's still burnt after a month. It's because I got fucking Meg Leekfield to look at it.
You got breadcrumbs instead of bandages. How are we doing, Lou?
Well, I'm not feeling so good about taking the stress now. I thought I was helping.
What can I say?
You should say you're fine now, Lou. Everything's better.
It's only level 1 harm.
Yeah. You said okay. Choose a side, Tove, because you just said, "Oh yeah, it's a special cut. It's probably poisoned," and now it's only level 1 harm. Take a stand.
I am doing a desperate job of balancing the narrative and the mechanical here, and it is falling apart around me the more questions you ask.
Good. Let's. So annoying that I have to spend a downtime activity to do nothing, still take stress, and it doesn't even get fully better.
You could spend a coin for another activity.
I mean, I've got no use for money. What's Gecko going to do with money?
I'll retire one day, hopefully, but...
She's not making it that far.
Damn.
Not at this rate.
No, her face is going to get infected and fall off. Okay, she's gonna put the ointment on her face and realise that actually not knowing what she's doing is making her more stressed, and I guess we'll try and find someone to sort it out properly.
Okay, so roll for the ointment first.
Okay.
Ointment roll. 0d.
Ointment roll 0d.
You cut off your face.
6 and a 6, motherfucker!
Oh!
Damn!
It's healed. It's gone. You picked the right ointment.
I'll put that coin back on that I hastily took away, thinking I had to find a shit doctor.
You have chosen wisely.
All your harm moves down 1, and because
All the
you only
poison
had
just
level 1
falls
harm,
out of my
it
face.
falls off the bottom. Yeah, probably wasn't poisoned after all.
Just great. I just kind of Wolverine, and just everything just closes up. Someone else can have a turn being miserable now. That's great.
Randall left the track on quite good terms, as I recall. What's he up
Randall
to
always
now?
does everything on good terms. Bloody Randall.
Yeah, while Gecko is kind of gripping onto a blood-stained sink, spitting buckshot into it.
I think Randall was there trying to, help, if I remember. I don't know if he did do anything
Randall was
to
about.
help, but he was there.
He was certainly
he got
there.
thrown back into the public area, and he was betting, I think, last
That
week.
sounds likely, yeah.
Yes. Sounds good.
He vastly endangered himself to sit down with Jenny and Tybalt to basically just wink slyly at Jenny and then get dragged away. At which point he went and placed a bunch of bets.
So I think that he will try and follow up his bold opening by using his in with Lorenzo to further the long-term plan of ingratiating himself, the gang with Jenny.
Yes, please go ahead and roll the action of your choice, and then depending on how well that goes, we'll decide what it is he actually did.
Consort. Can he
Sounds
consort using Lorenzo? Does that make sense? Because it's like using sly friends.
Mhm.
Lorenzo knows.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Deploy
Then
the
we have
Lorenzo.
We have a chance of getting this clock filled. Okay, so it's a 6. Just 1 6.
Yeah, I imagine you, Randall, probably went straight back to the club and like wandered in, saw Lorenzo, was like, right, mate. So you haven't to this point been welcomed into sort of the inner circle of these clubs yet, but going back to Jack named this club in session 0, and I want to reference the name.
The egg carton.
The sautéed blancmange.
Half-boiled. Parboiled.
I can't believe we haven't written it down anywhere.
The fire trout.
Oh, it was like the midnight
Cowboys.
something. No. Fuck it. You go back to the club, which Jenny's Girls uses as an impromptu headquarters, as far as you know. Refer back to session 0 to find its name. Jack probably mentioned it at some point. Speaking to the guards that you want to speak to Lorenzo, they recognise you, they usher you through. You are sent through to a room which is wood-panelled. There's a plush office desk and chair there. There's a dartboard on the back of the door with a half-torn silvergraph of a young tabaxi man pinned to it, filled with dart holes. This youth in the silvergraph has a mischievous smile on his face and his tongue slightly out. Capturing an image onto a silvergraph like this is expensive and takes time, so not only is it surprising that a youth would have had the money and patience for it, it's a shame to see one torn up and used for target practice like this. You see the other half of the silvergraph framed on the desk. It depicts a youthful Lorenzo of probably 5 or so years ago, flexing and grinning at the camera. Next to him is a young tiefling girl. She's partially obscuring her face with her arm as she raises one hand giving the peace symbol, and the other giving the horns. Alright, Randall, what can I do for you? Glad to see you again.
Yes. Well, I'm afraid I'm here on business today, actually. It's, we have, after all, had a lot of pleasure, and it's, can't be playing all the time, unfortunately.
Course. Actually have a job in mind for you and your lot if you have some bit of time at some point. Not right now, I'm just sort of cleaning up the details, but if you come back maybe after this downtime session, we'll...
That's exactly what I was here for. Walks up to the drinks cabinet. I assume there is one, because, this is Blaze in the Dark, and I can just add things to the room I like.
There's wood panelling. You don't have wood panelling without a drinks cabinet.
Looks over and makes sure to pick what he recognises as not the most expensive bottle, because that's even too bold, even for Randall, and just takes a nice mid-tier beverage and...
Oh, in a metal canister, which this world has now.
Magically sealed. The sound of magic opening. And takes a sip and saying, that's good stuff, this.
Speaking of good stuff, on the desk, your senses all tingle and you can't help but notice a shoebox-sized wooden chest. It's open, and it's filled with a dozen pouches of what can only be stardust, one of your many narcotic vices.
So, gesturing at the stardust. Any of that going?
For you, Randall? Yeah, of course. And he slides the box towards you. No, maybe you could sell some of the stuff if you don't, well, you know. Gives you a little shrug.
What would your expected return be on this box?
If I can look at the purse of money you bring me and infer from it that you didn't ingest half of it, I'll be pretty pleased, I'll be honest.
That sounds like we've got ourselves a deal then.
Very good, very good.
I know this riddle, Randall. You need to... You don't ingest half of it. You ingest the other half. Word to the wise.
Be seeing you in a couple of days.
Yes, well, thanks for the, vote of confidence. It's been a while since I've had one of those, so catch you later. Takes the box.
He gives you a knowing nod. You suspect this may be some degree of a test, but you can't be sure.
Okay.
So I will increase your clock. You rolled a 6, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna roll a dice of some sort to see if Randall can not just hide it and take all of it.
Perhaps that could be your indulge vice. An overindulgence would kind of spell its own way out there.
I only have 2 stress. I'm going to indulge my vice. No, just trying to... Because we have, like, bonuses as a gang, right? As well, something?
The bonus you get of being forged in the fire is related to your resistance rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be if you were trying to resist the consequence of something,
right?
You would get +1 dice. So if you're trying to resist, would that be insight, prowess, or resolve? Definitely resolve, right?
Yeah. It's got six things in resolve. So what's that?
Excellent question. We've got to fucking episode 8 and we haven't done a resistance roll yet.
Which is exactly why I want to do it, to be honest. I really like to see how they work. And then if you remember they exist, it might...
Yes, as the crossbow bolt barrels towards Kuuza, he thinks about that time that Randall didn't take all of the drugs all at once and is inspired.
Ah, yes. Forged in the fire of not taking all of those drugs.
Not all at once.
Really paced himself over those few days.
And you know what? We're bloody proud of him.
Yeah.
So you suffer 6 stress, minus the highest die result. This seems high, but given that you've got 6, I think you roll 6 dice in resolve.
I did not get that many dice on.
6 dice?
If you roll 2 6s, you even clear 1 stress.
Yeah, I did.
2 6s? Oh. So... Yep, you don't suffer any stress. You, in fact, clear 1.
Hey!
And you are not just snorting an entire shoebox full of fantasy cocaine.
Today.
Everything's coming up, Randall.
And the rest... honestly, it was a great roll. The rest of them were 4s.
Ooh.
So
I have to remember to resist things again in future.
Down to 1 stress, then. Okay, perfect. This is for my gang.
This is for the crew.
We're going to sell these drugs.
For my friends.
Like heroes.
Yes. Did you have another downtime activity in mind, Randall?
Oh, yeah. 2 in a row.
Indulge vice. Overindulge. Die.
Find us a doctor.
Acquire asset.
Mm-hmm.
Acquire a drug seller. Like a sort of, maybe a selling service that we can
a drug monger.
Or just someone to sell them on the street. Yeah, just a street dealer.
So you're sort of recruiting for A group of scallywags who will do the actual moving of product for you.
Yeah, makes sense.
So to acquire the asset, we're rolling the cruise tier, which is 0.
Still, come on.
Our rep's pretty
We're getting
good.
up there, though. But if the rep gets full, then we go up a tier, don't we?
Yes, but, well, no, not you lot, because you have a weak hold on your tier because the Forger sisters are muscling.
I
in the
hate
territory.
Blades in the Dark. What the fuck? What is all this shit? Too much.
You literally need 1 rep and you can go back up to strong hold on your tier 0.
How do we do that?
Scores.
Just scores. Can't I do like...
On a series that will be coming to some kind of a conclusion in like 2 episodes. Regardless of how strong your hold is, you're still rolling 0 dice to get your cohort.
Guess we just sell them ourselves.
Was it lower than 3?
It was as low as they go.
So last time I didn't set a minimum tier of asset, and that got us Meg Leekfield. This time I will say you have to at least get a tier 0 asset. And rolling between 1 and 3 means you get your tier -1, which puts you at -1. So, yeah, I guess you're just selling them yourselves.
Anyone just out of the street? Anyone want to move some merchandise on my behalf? No?
Drugs! Get your drugs! Get your drugs!
Hovering around tables at what is it, the Shrieking Clam,
Which doesn't have normal patrons.
and can I have you been told the specials today? The specials. You know.
Kuuza.
Yes, mate.
Last we saw Kuuza, you were narrowly escaping the gaze of Forger sister assassins with Tay.
That's right.
Sorry, no, I just heard you're narrowly escaping the gaze. And I was just like, what is he even doing?
He is a bear.
What's he up to now?
Yeah, I think given the continual annoyance of this burn on his hand, which doesn't seem to be healing properly, now paired with this fresh welt of rope burn across his face.
He's not looking too good.
He's feeling a bit fucked off, to be honest. So he's going to go... I don't want to go to Meg Leekfield.
He might have learned something.
No,
Didn't
she
we
won't.
work out that mathematically I've got a better chance of fixing it myself?
Yeah, like technically there should be a -1 dice roll. So rolling 3 dice and picking the lowest is silly Tove times.
That's fair. Right. Leekfield. Look, I know we've not exactly seen eye to eye about this, but I'm going to give you one more chance.
I promise I will do a better job this time. I even read a book about how you shouldn't put flour on burns. So that's on me. I'll give you that.
I've always admired your dedication to the craft.
She puts down her soup ladle and she takes off
And
the white
picks up her
apron
medicinal ladle.
and puts on her different white apron.
This one's less or more covered in blood? Who knows?
They've both got red stains. One may be tomato, the other may be blood, but it's impossible to
Difficult
say.
to tell which way around that she wears them.
Yeah, she looks at it like, is this the right one? It doesn't matter.
To be clear, it's this one. He holds up his hand with the burn. This, bad. And this, pointing to Ropeburn. These two things.
Let's roll me some dice. So you don't take any stress.
Ralph does.
Ralph takes stress. Kuuza doesn't. Tove is trying to find the rule in the book, but is just going to roll instead. It's a 2, so I think it's going to be 1 point on the healing clock. This really isn't healing. It's like...
That hadn't escaped my notice, to be honest with you.
She's squirting ointment wildly up your forearm. It's not going anywhere, and I don't know why.
That's very reassuring, thank you.
I hasten to add, I am a chef. That is my profession. Do you want me to try again?
You don't happen to know any surgeons? I should have asked before.
Well, you look surgeons up in the phone book and you get me, so...
Not a very good phone book.
What's a phone?
What's a book?
We know what fucking books are.
Gecko doesn't.
Right, look, I know I said one more chance. I've got a good feeling.
Listen,
I
boss,
reckon.
I promise I've got it this time.
You got that book. You got that book open in front of you. Go to H for hand.
She has an anatomical diagram of a hand open in a book.
Why not P for paw?
Oh, well. Maybe she'll remember that, depending on the outcome of this roll. So rolling a 3 gets you another 1 segment on the healing clock.
Yay.
Look, I swear I've almost got it. Like, slip me a coin, I can go out and buy some more supplies and we'll have this tidied up, I promise. There is no way it can get any worse from this point. I am so close, Kuuza.
A coin, you reckon?
That'll get you the best burn ointment money can buy.
Right, I mean, it might not always be burns. There might be other things. It's burns now.
You seem to exclusively suffer burns.
Yeah, no, I will give you that, to be fair. That is, yeah.
I'm a hot boy.
I'm a hot boy. That's what it is. Right, look, take this. You go get some stuff. Right. I'm sorry I came in with such negative energy. And I don't really know why I've come round on it, to be honest.
Desperation.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the olive oil got into my bloodstream, and I think it's, I don't know, I feel a bit tingly.
So Meg nips out, and she comes back and sits down in front of you again, seemingly not with any burn ointment, but with a crystal that she is holding between forefinger and thumb, and says, right, so you got that with electroplasm, right? So, like ghosts, yeah?
Yeah.
This is why it's been going wrong. Hang on. And she casts the crystal up and down your burn. Ah! And it stings quite a bit, but you do get another tick in your healing clock, which brings all of your harms down 1.
Can it be?
You do see a little wisp of ghostly energy, the sort that you would see around your poltergeist, sort of be sucked out of the burn in your hand and be sucked into the crystal. And it feels better. See, I'm not a bad doctor. I'm not a bad doctor.
You're not the worst, Doctor. Yeah, no, my face feels a lot better, actually. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. But good, it's good that it happened.
Again, very reassuring to hear.
So your healing clock is cleared. All of your harms move down 1. And now you only have a mundane burn on your hand.
Nice. Would have been good to clear some stress, but oh well.
At least you didn't add any. Yeah. I mean, you could spend another coin and indulge your vice.
I mean, what am I going to spend coins on at this point?
We are the least money hungry gang ever.
That's right.
We just got into the criminal underworld for kicks, I guess.
Well, we filled out all of our money, right? All of our coin slots, and then it was like...
You don't have anywhere left to store the coin with your crew, so any further coin that comes to your scoundrel for their retirement fund.
We're not making it.
My thoughts exactly.
I mean, on that note, I might try and clear some stress. I might spend my one remaining coin. Yeah, no, I've got a feeling that something big is about to go down, and I want to make sure I'm in top condition.
Make yourself right.
Yeah, get right with Jesus.
Is that the name of the bugbear god of nightmares?
It could be. Well, we don't know his name. Into the attic of the old house. In the silence and the white noise. Blindfold on. Cross-legged. Outside of time and space and thought. Drifting between consciousness and dreaming. He overindulges. The one time I didn't need to roll well.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5 and I needed 4 or less.
Technically, that's not rolling well.
No, that's true. That is true.
That's just a continuation.
No, it's very on brand, actually.
Bad rolling is kind of a spectrum.
I forget. Do I clear the stress and then something bad happens to me, or do I not clear the stress and something bad?
You clear
happens?
the stress. Yeah, it's a good news, bad news situation. Good news is you clear your stress. Bad news is we have to choose between attracting trouble, where we roll an additional entanglement. You brag about your exploits, which will come up with some way that is appropriate to Kuuza's indulging, which would be +2 heat. You are lost. Your character vanishes for a few weeks. You play a different character until this one returns from their quote-unquote bender.
That one.
However, when your character returns, they've also healed any harm they had.
That could be a tactical choice.
Or you are tapped. Your current purveyor cuts you off and you have to find a new source for your vice.
Oh, imagine if Jack comes back next week and Ralph's just someone completely different. And no one explains it.
That's very tempting.
So, Gladstone Undercity Pike.
Hello, chaps.
Brag. I got really deep into unconsciousness.
Have you tried sensory deprivation? Because I'm fucking great at it. I assume attracting attention is intended to be from authorities, etc.
It could be from other crews, it could be from ghosts, or it could
Not
be from the
from
authorities.
some terrible entity that lurks between consciousness and dreaming.
Well, we would roll an entanglement, and then we would have to wangle the entanglement to be relevant.
An enwanglement.
Yeah, an enwanglement.
That just strikes me as something that's slightly more interesting than the having to find somewhere else to do it next time, or just being a different character for the finale.
Okay, let's see what we can do with a entanglement. So we've rolled a 4, which puts us at reprisals or unquiet dead. So options with reprisals could be like the Regency find you in the attic of one of their lieutenants and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Or unquiet dead, we can do something with the ghost.
It could potentially be good to do something with the ghost, wouldn't it?
Trying to just indulge in sensory deprivation. The poltergeist is just
stabbing you repeatedly.
Sense this. 8 stress.
Force you to do a resistance to get your stress back. So Kuuza is blindfolded, he's sitting down, it's quiet, he's reaching out into the ether to try and find this presence that he searches for, to try and commune with. And he gets this sense of calm, of feeling like he is connecting with something. And through the fog of his mind, he feels this presence getting closer and closer, and he's thinking, yeah, I think I'm making some progress here. But at the last second, the face that appears in front of you is the face of this ghost that's been haunting you this time. And you feel every muscle in your body tighten up as he tries to force his way into your consciousness, as if he's trying to possess you, as if you've opened yourself up and he's capitalized on this.
Yeah, when we've seen this scene before, he's sort of, in his consciousness, he's just walking through this kind of shadowy plane, and there's sort of figures going past, none of whom interact with him or acknowledge him in any way, and it's a very safe place. And then he's walking through this space, and then one of them turns to look at him, and it's got the ghost's face.
And you realise you've let all your guards down.
Exactly.
So I think this would be an action roll to try and get yourself out of this situation, with the understanding that possession is a pretty bad thing to happen to you.
As much as I'd love to try and make this hunt somehow, I think it's got to be like a skirmish to kind of try and just sort of...
I would accept hunt if you could describe some way in which Kuuza is navigating this
sort of trying to
foggy...
trying to lose a tail almost, isn't it? It's thinking about how I would hunt someone in this situation and doing the thing that would frustrate that.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon this is desperate in that if you do not succeed, something so bad is going to happen to you that you are going to have to resist it.
Yeah.
And we are going to make use of the resistance roll mechanic for the first time in a dangerous way, as opposed to Randall just not wanting to take drugs.
Oh, that is a 6.
Oh! Tell me how he escapes this pursuit.
We sort of cutting between Kuuza's consciousness and Kuuza in the real world, and it's like when you are screaming and running in a dream and it's all incredibly intense, but in the real world it's just like this tiny little whimper and these tiny facial movements
like
as he's trying to force himself into consciousness. So he's absolutely careening through all of these shadows, trying to put anything in between him and his pursuer, and then eventually he's just able to shock himself just enough to rip the blindfold off, bring himself into consciousness, breathing heavily in the darkness, alone.
But not completely alone. Your ghostly compatriot is floating just in front of you, looking directly into your eyes, but is not hostile.
I think Kuuza just legs it back to the hideout. He's really shitted up about this.
But not mechanically, because he has 0 stress.
I'll probably mark myself 4 or 5 just for...
We calm down and we return to the Shrieking Clam. We are going about our business. Tay hasn't been seen for a few days, but the Shrieking Clam is buzzing with activity. The front room is piled high with wooden crates. Archie, mistress of rags, is sitting at the bar counting coins and sorting betting slips. You can see she's very happy with your last score as she gives you a thumbs up and a grin, which is only sparsely populated with teeth. A door to a room that you haven't seen before is open at the back of the building. Walking through, you find yet more crates and an archway out onto a ramshackle jetty. On the jetty, you find 2 orcs calmly loading crates onto a barge with the Regency's crest painted on the side. And Pakisty, who is in conversation with a green dragonborn and a dwarf who, Randall, you recognise as the guard captain who took your coat when you arrived at Ponsonby Manor for the soiree.
Did Randall get that coat back?
I imagine he didn't.
No, you exited via the veranda, didn't you?
Yeah, shit. That's right, plenty of coats.
Soon, you hear a knock at the door of the front of the inn. Paxton sort of looks up and says, "Oh, and she looks at the three of you and goes, Gecko, Kuuza, would you answer that? They know what they're here for." And she goes back to helping the Regency load their crates.
There a spy hole?
I imagine there probably would be.
Have a look for that then.
Opening the spy hole, you see first of all, you see a wagon in the road, which is painted with Jenny's Girls colours. Standing immediately in front of the door is your old friend, Lorenzo.
Gecko just kind of goes a bit still and doesn't really know what to do.
Kuuza is reaching towards the door handle.
I think they've got the wrong door. I think probably.
Well, Pakosti said that they knew what they were doing, so
There is another knock at the door.
probably don't want to keep them waiting.
Doesn't look Regency to me.
Well, she didn't say they were Regency.
I mean, there's there's all sorts of nasty people about. I can't trust
we're
anyone
some of them.
these days.
You know, we're not like good, right? We're not. We're
yeah. Okay.
You all right?
Yeah. I need some more ointment. I'm gonna go out the back and see if there is some. Bye. And Gecko kind of just kind of slips into the back and looks like she's gonna go out the back door, but I think she's gonna try. I don't know how recently y'all have seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I'm
24 years ago, probably.
Okay, so recently. But yeah, I'm thinking about when Frollo leaves and then he kind of ducks in behind a wall with a dagger in his hat. Like I'm sort of thinking like she tries to stealth into a place where she can hear what's going on, but make it look like she's not there.
There is another knock at the door, Kuuza.
I open the door. All right.
I wasn't expecting. I suppose I don't know what I was expecting. We're here to pick up some. He sort of looks over his shoulder. Crates.
Yeah, all right. Pakosti said you knew what you were here for.
Oh, is that her name? Huh. Yeah, fair enough.
Probably shouldn't have given you her name.
No, I mean
we're sort of new to this.
Really? Well. And he sort of lets himself in. Two of his goons come with him and begin loading up crates. Are you around, Randall?
What time is it?
Probably the evening, if they're doing clandestine deals.
I imagine he'd just be sitting on the bar if he's there.
Randall, this is where you hang out.
How's it going, old bean?
He comes over, gives you sort of an elbow in the ribs, and this is who you're running with, is it? Well, I can probably give you that job now if you fancy.
Oh well, yes. You know, we're all just looking around here, and we're not doing anything, so we're all buzzing with energy to go, aren't we? Come on.
Lorenzo gives you a knowing look. Just you two, is it? He looks at you and Kuuza.
No. There is someone else, but they often hide away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's two others.
Yeah, and the centaur running with you.
Yeah. Yes. There is a centaur.
And she hides away.
No, not the centaur. The centaur. She's not
a hider.
No, she's more of a sex pest.
Where is she? She's not around. I'm not sure where she's gone. There was someone else though, right? That was another one of us. What did I say? Anyway, we'll do the job. Raring to go. Fighting condition.
If you say so, my friend. All right. And he pulls out a map, which he scrolls out on the bar. And
Kuuza, could you look? I really can't make head and tails of this.
No, I would have thought you'd be very, very focused. I love Coked Out Randall. He's my favourite character. The listener is missing out on Bambi's incredible eye work.
Physical comedy just lends itself to the podcast format. Kuuza, you would recognise this map to be of the Reeds, which is a flooded district of the Undercity. Perhaps in your knowledge of local history, when the bomb went off that caused the ghost field to form around Saran, that caused a landslip underground, which caused thousands of tons of rock to fill into the dark lakes around the outskirts of the Undercity, causing the water levels to rise and a solid fifth of the city to be lost to the waters. Now, to keep this to yourselves, but we're planning to make some moves against the Regency in the coming weeks to hopefully cut the head off the snake, as it were. Jenny doesn't know about this, but I reckon that there is a cache of pre-war weapons out in the flooded district that could really give us the edge over the Regency. Jenny's been out there once before, and she came back with some magical stuff, which I reckon there's more out there. I think she's holding out on us. So I have this plan that I send a little group out like you to head out there, find what they can, and bring it back for, I suppose, the final battle, if you want to call it that. That could tip the odds in our favour.
You say Jenny doesn't know about this?
Yeah, she's really cagey about when she went out there and came back, and she doesn't like to talk about it.
Well, because the way I see this going is if we're successful, we are fighting the Regency and Jenny's pissed off with us.
I can handle Jenny. I've handled her before. She doesn't even need to know about it, if anything.
Yeah, see, it's that kind of talk's what makes me feel a bit uneasy, if I'm honest with you.
Well, I mean, whatever you find you can keep, if you are tickled by magical artefacts which would give you the edge over big crews like the Regency.
Well, I mean, if it's clandestine and thievery we're talking about, we should probably bring the expert in. Gecko, why are you lurking over there?
When you say Gecko's name, the blood drains from Lorenzo's face, and he looks at you like, What did you just say?
Well, I know it's a slightly weird name. I assume it's a nickname. We've not really drilled into the subject, if I'm honest.
Gecko's here. Where is she? Gecko, come out! And he pushes past Kuuza, looking for where Gecko might be hiding.
Gecko kind of...
Kuuza does not allow himself to be pushed past.
Do you want to try and stop him getting pushed? He's not being aggressive towards you as such. He's agitated, certainly, but you don't feel threatened necessarily by him shoving you out the way.
A friendly shove.
He's a big guy. He is probably more than half orcish.
Yeah.
Gecko makes sure she's holding a weapon, probably some sort of knife, and sort of has it behind her thigh and kind of pokes out from behind. Doesn't really say anything, just kind of looks at him like,
Gecko! And he runs at you, full speed, arms outstretched.
Well, I guess I have definitely been in situations where I'm trying to hold something and someone has barreled into me. So I assume that when Lorenzo makes contact, I probably drop the knife. That's sort of behind me.
And he scoops Gecko up in a hug and spins her around and is grinning at you. So, I honestly assumed you might be dead. I am so happy to see you. And he gives you a bone-crunching hug.
Level 1 harm.
Gecko sort of looks kind of bewildered. One isn't used to any kind of affection or physical contact or positivity, I guess. God, this is depressing. And I guess also assumes that he would never want to see her again, and so is just kind of baffled.
As the hug winds down and he sets Gecko down, and he sort of kneels. Maybe she's not that short. Maybe he sort of just lowers to her eye level, and he looks very serious now. And he says, "Is he here?"
No, I don't think. I don't think so. I'm pretty
You
sure.
don't think he's here?
I think I would. No, I don't think he's here. No.
And he gives her a pat on the shoulder. He's like, "Ben, we have a lot to catch up on, I think. But sounds like we have some work to do first. You're their stealth expert? You've come a long way."
I'd sometimes get in places and I can take things and not have to give them back, and sometimes that works out okay.
And he pats you on both your shoulders and says, I am happy to see you again, but shall we do some planning and maybe we can talk when you're back?"
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are you mad?
I have never felt an emotion like this before. It might take me a few days to work out what the emotion is.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the most awkward score planning session of our lives commences, which we will do next time. Thanks for listening to Of Dice and Them. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a review on your favourite podcasting platform and subscribe to be notified as soon as new episodes drop. In the meantime, give us a follow at Of Dice and Them on social media, where you can also find out how to follow our cast. And we'll see you next time.
Are you looking for an actual play podcast with young, hot role players, disciplined professional voice actors, and wholesome content? Well, this isn't that podcast. AARPG is an adults-only podcast with interviews, actual play stories where...
Excuse me, Matt, why do you sound like you've been chain smoking since you were a toddler?
What do you mean?
The voice. You don't have to do that voice, man.
I don't?
Nah, just tell them that we're a group of old friends who like to get together, hang out, play lots of different types of games, and we want them to feel like they're sitting at the table with us. And they can find us just by searching for the AARPG podcast on their favorite podcatcher and at the AARPGs on YouTube.
Oh, I should probably leave, huh? Oh, yeah, you do,
No,
do what
you
you
need to
do.
fill us
Bye.
in.
Clip, clop, clip, clop.
Oh, bollocks.